Simone was a legendary jazz and blues artist whose music is still loved and celebrated by many. Not only was she a great musician, but she was also an activist in the civil rights movements, fighting for equal rights. Her music spoke the truth and provided the soundtrack to civil rights movements. Her inspiration as an artist and as an activist has been celebrated by many around the world. Now, the Market Theatre will be staging a production titled Nina Simone. A four-woman production follows a group of women fueled by self-hatred due to the color of their skin. But to tell us more about this production, we're joined in studio by director James Ngcobo as well as actress Noxolo Dlamini. Guys, it's great to have you. James, when you're here, we know you're working on something good. I mean, Nina Simone, what a legendary artist, what a legendary voice who was inclusive in her music, who spoke the truth in terms of, you know, wanting equal rights for all humanity. Why was it so important for this production to hit the Market Theatre?
Well, I mean, one of the things for me is I've always loved Nina Simone, and you look at some of the singers today in the world, even people like Erykah Badu, what's that woman she sang at How Do You Say Goodbye, and Macy Gray, and you can see a Nina Simone DNA in those women. Because what Nina did in the 60s was not only to write music, but to create narratives in her songs that are absolutely timeless. And one of my passions as artistic director of the Market is to make sure that our patrons are not only watching South African stories, because I find that sometimes quite myopic that we can sort of like maybe sometimes put ourselves in a pigeonhole and say, well, this is all we do. I love to challenge myself as a director. I love to challenge actors, and in turn we challenge our patrons to come in and watch stories that speak to the fact that at the Market Theatre there's a curiosity about narratives from all over the world. And this Nina piece has been such fun to put together. And working with Noxolo, who walked in the audition room, I knew as she walked out that I was going to cast her. She didn't know.
That's amazing. Noxolo, for you as a young black woman, and I mean this song I relates to so many of us around the globe, what's it been like for you to be in this production?
You know, the thing about this, firstly the song, all right, has all these four different women and the struggles that they've been through in just one song, you know. And what I think is beautiful about this show is that these are these women's stories made bigger. Like now we actually go into their lives, and I think as a young actress, it's been challenging, you know, because I haven't done a play like this ever in my life, and to be able to actually put myself in what actually black women go through, you know, especially my character, you know, it's something I wouldn't go through on a normal day, but to understand the stories that these women have gone through is incredible, because it's something that's not only American but is African, you know. As black people, this is what black women struggle with, you know, and it's beautiful because I've learned so much about being a black woman, about myself, and loving me, you know, and taking care of me. And it's something that as black women we don't really know to do. So
bring us into your character, or briefly, what is her story?
All right, so I play Saffronia, and in the song she says, my father was rich and white, forced my mother late one night. And so she's mixed race. Her father was white and her mom was black, and her mom was unfortunately raped. And she was then the product of that. And Saffronia coming up first, she's light-skinned, and the moment she steps in, she's already judged, all right? And she's grown up realizing that this is her life, you know, and the moment she's faced with these people who judge her, not even knowing her story, she already has a way of defending herself or protecting herself from it. And I think what's beautiful is that her story, you go into a story and you don't expect what her story is. You're just like, I didn't realize this is actually...
Especially for her shade of black, which in a lot of society is more acceptable and more welcome, and people are easily to, you know, just accept her being in spaces.
She's lighter.
I get that. It's like thin people not being expected to have body issues simply because they're not overweight or obese. James, sorry, Noxolo, I'll come back to you in a second. James, the other characters, the other women that are in this play, tell us more about them and very briefly about their characters and what they bring to
You've got a character called Sweet Thing, and Sweet Thing is she's a hooker. She works the streets, and this is right in the middle of the civil rights movement, and she's one of those people who just says, I'm not going to waste my time getting involved in the struggle. My struggle is now. What am I going to eat? And she has some kind of relationship with Sophroni. You realize in the play that they have a past, that they've known each other. We've got a character called Auntie Sarah that Lerato Mvelase is playing, and yet again a young black woman who behaves like she's old, and because of socialization, she works as a maid, and her life also has an agency that is right now, and she spends every day just thinking about how to feed her kids, and so all these characters are in collision with the biography of Nina Simone in this church that was bombed, because it's based on a true story. There was a church in Alabama, in Birmingham, in America, that was bombed by Ku Klux Klan in 1963, and 4 little girls died. And Nina walks into this church. She's in the middle of writing a new album that she's about to record, and her character just collides with these women. It's funny. It's got a beautiful musicality about it. It's a historical lesson. You don't sit there as an audience and feel like you're being given a history lesson, because you are witnessing how these collision of these biographies just unfolds in a very organic and beautiful way.
I could listen to you speak all morning. Noxolo, very quickly, how long is the production on until?
The production started on Friday and will be going on until the 24th of February.
Ah, fantastic. Guys, it's great to have you in studio. Lovely work by you, James. We appreciate what you do in terms of the arts and bringing our people closer to the stories that really matter. That was James Ngcobo and Noxolo Dlamini talking to us about Nina Simone, 4 Women, which is currently showing at the Market Theatre. Make sure you go and see it. Time for a quick break. Do stay with us here on the show. We have a lot more coming up.
If you're busy doing off,
what?
Look at what you say.
First of all, I'm just gonna say what I want to say. Hey, you are an arrogant.
Only issues.
The drama, man, it's from many sides.
You're not happy, just leave.
I need some of that.
The Shade. Trending SA. Mondays to Thursdays at 10:30 on 3.
A meteorite hit the Earth 2 million years ago, creating an enormous impact of crater, about 10 kilometers in diameter, near Vredefort in the Free State, 100 kilometers southwest of Johannesburg, now known as the Vredefort Dome, a South African World Heritage Site. The meteorite is said to have been larger than Table Mountain and caused a 1,000 megaton blast of energy. The impact would have heated about 70 cubic kilometers of rock and have increased the Earth's oxygen levels to a degree that made the development of multicellular life possible. The